am the president of Crispin Porter Bogusky. We are a global full-service creative collective, and I am here with the amazing Ty at Sports Beach here in Cannes. So Ty Heath is the Director of Market Engagement at the B2B Institute at LinkedIn, and so we're here to talk about what Ty is doing with awards, with B2B, all the things. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to be here, and I love this Sports Beach. I ran track for a long time, so I feel very much at home here.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, well, after the interview, you and I can do
Can we run up and down?
We could do a foot race.
Beach,
so we're going to do a foot race after this.
Nice.
Awesome. Okay, so my first question. So Ty is actually a judge in this year Cannes Lion, which is very special. It's amazing. It's actually really hard to be a judge. They pick the best of the best and the brightest minds in the industry. So I want to hear, what are some of the trends you've really seen across the work, especially when it comes to creativity in the B2B space?
Absolutely. Well, I have to say it's an honor to be a judge. There's some amazing people with me that are bringing all of their expertise to this conversation. This is the second year of the Creative B2B Lion, as LinkedIn was a strategic thought partner in the development of the Creative B2B Lions just last year.
Oh, that's amazing.
And so I have to say, I know I'm speaking for the other judges as well, we felt a little bit of pressure to continue down the journey of inspiring the B2B category to invest more deeply in B2B creativity. Some of the trends I've seen, really amazing. One of the first things I would say, just talking about corporate social responsibility and purpose, what I'm seeing is a movement from let's talk about this as a brand to this conversation of how can B2B be a bigger part of the solution, and not just the solution in terms of talking about the various challenges that impact our world, whether it's climate change, whether it's burnout and the conversation of the workplace, whether it's the women's rights.
Yes.
What I've seen is brands actually thinking about how do I develop a solution and sometimes a product to help overcome those various challenges. So that's one big theme. Another theme I've seen is investment in data and insights, as you can imagine, but from a standpoint of creating indices to help us track where things are going and to highlight things from a perhaps business and financial perspective to create a little bit more urgency and I think connection to the idea versus just talking about it. How do we track it? How do we show how we're moving the needle on that, and then using that to highlight a topic and getting brands and businesses to actually sign on and stand behind that as well. Of course, AI. We can't go 5 minutes without seeing AI. So, I think we can expect to see a lot more brands using AI to generate content, but also as a solution to help illuminate various challenges and how the business can solve for those things. And then, of course, I'd be remiss to say in B2B, big, bold, fun B2B campaigns that bring emotion, use characters, have music, and things that I actually want to see a lot more of that in the coming years.
I love that. So that was my next question. What do you hope to see more of?
Yes.
You also mentioned the idea of creativity that works, and this year efficacy has also been introduced. So how are you thinking about efficacy, how it works, the data in those big creative campaigns you're talking about for B2B?
Yeah. I think, one of the big themes was that it's not just about the brand conversation, it's about action. What are you actually doing, and what are the results? How is the needle moving? How is this impacting society, the business, the conversation? So, as we think about efficacy, I think a lot of the places where brands put a stake in the ground is we're not that we're done talking, we have to talk, but more we have to move from talking to a solution, and that is what our customers want to see.
Oh, I love that. I feel like we're here talking about, you mentioned what customers want to see, but we're here on Sport Beach talking about fandom.
Absolutely.
How should businesses, especially B2B companies, I'm thinking of, I won't use any names.
Yes.
How should B2B companies how should we think about our brands as fans and as consumers?
Yes. So I love this question. We've been thinking a lot about this at the B2B Institute, thinking of this conversation of what is the promise that we make to our customers. And in short, our research found that brands who actually make a promise say why. They remind customers, why are you working with me? Why have you decided to invest in me? And as a fan, like why, reminding your fans, why do you love, like what is the experience we provide that helps you love connecting with us? Somebody said this really funny thing that I love. They said, if you're married to someone, you have to remind them, why are we married in the first place?
Oh, that's
constantly reminding, like, here's why we love each other. And so I think it's really important to remind your fans, like, here's why we love you, here's what you can love about us, and here's the promise we're making to you. So, for example, at the B2B Institute, the promise that we make is that we want our marketers that are investing to be able to articulate clearly the value that they bring to the business, and also to have strong conversations about how do you defend your budget in the C-suite. You know, why should we be investing in brand in a way we haven't before? So we want our CMOs and marketers more broadly to be armed and articulate in those conversations so that they can expand.
I love that. So I have two more questions. This one, I feel like you're gonna totally have an awesome answer for. So how do you personally plan, we talk at Stagwell a lot about transforming marketing. How do you want to keep transforming the B2B space?
Yeah. I think there's so much opportunity. I've always been sort of like to continue with the sports theme, I've always been somebody who loves the underdog conversation. And I think B2B has so much promise. But I don't always think that when people think about B2B, they're thinking about creativity in the way that they could. I mean, I think we got away from that, and now I'm seeing that we're coming back to it. And so for me, I want people to be connected to the opportunity. I think it's one of the single biggest opportunities in marketing is B2B brand. There was a index that said, there's $1 trillion of untapped opportunity across B2B brands. And what I want to see is more marketers being able to tap into that opportunity and understanding how creativity and your reach, your media, has an impact on outcomes. And so I'm going to be the next 5 years going to be having that conversation in a number of different ways, and also speaking to how we do it equitably, how we do it inclusively, and how we make sure everybody's moving forward in that conversation as well.
Well, so that leads to my last question that I always love to ask, especially when I interview women. How do you leave the world a better place for the next generation of women? What advice do you give to young women, especially in the B2B space,
Yeah. The advice I give to women and anyone that will listen is to say the things that need to be said.
Oh, I love
It takes incredible courage sometimes, and I think anyone can be in a leadership position when it comes to saying the things that need to be said, whether you're saying it to a colleague or someone who you're bringing up behind you in the work that's being done, or if you're sitting at the table, making a space at the table and bringing other people into the conversation, and also sometimes saying the hard things that people are maybe thinking or not saying, or not thinking about at all, that need to be thought about.
Gosh, well, Ty, that was great. That was a good reminder for me, always. So thanks for joining, and let's go check out Sport Beach.
Let's check out, how about that foot race now?
Let's do the foot race.
Cheers, thanks so much for
win.
having me.
Yay.
All right.